What's going on, everybody? It's your man Rashad, and I'm coming back at you. I know it's been a minute, but we back. And yeah. So we gonna kick it off and just have a really it's a real conversation, right? Is it really that hard? And I'm not even gonna wait for folks to jump in. My wife's about to come into the house. Anaya's about to come into the house. The door is cracked. It's stuck on the hinge, or not stuck on the hinge, but it's cracked. So I already know my 2-year-old is gonna pop in the room any moment. Wife's gonna check in any moment. But again, I want to talk about with the fam, why is it that hard, right? So, on this channel, we talk about growth personally, spiritually, relationally, becoming all that we're created to be in every aspect of life, right? But is it really that hard? And I don't think it is, right? But why is it? Even though it's not really that hard, why does it seem as if it's so hard for so many of us, right? Why does it seem like it's only 1% of people that's really able to be like, and I'm not just talking about just the wealthiest of the wealthiest, but why does it seem as if you have to be incredibly special to have a fulfilling life and really be all that you were created to be? Somebody holler at me. Why is that? Right? Why is it that it seems so hard? We'll use as an example, right? Your relationship with God, or maybe we'll pivot to a different example. Your fitness when it comes to the gym, right? Why is this so hard? Like, why is this food? Why is this donut, this Krispy Kreme donut, fresh with the glaze, fresh off the press? Why does it taste so good? Even though it's so bad for me, why does it taste so good? And I don't understand, right? So why is it that waking up, whether I'm waking up early in the morning and going to the gym, or I'm getting home after work, and trying to pivot and go to the gym, why does that feel so hard? When I know that's what's gonna help me to be who I need to be, people that typically have more muscle, or they have better cardiovascular health, they typically live longer lives. But why are these things that are really good for us, why are these things typically the hardest to do? I don't think any of these things, whether it's managing our finances well, getting into the best shape of our life, having healthy relationships, most importantly, growing your relationship with Jesus, I don't think any of these things are that hard. They're simple. It's the process of it that's actually hard. So again, using the example when it comes to the gym, I ain't gonna cap. This year, I've been probably the most consistent I've been in the gym since I really started my fitness journey back in 2017, right? And I've had some pretty grueling days, right? I'm looking at my legs in the mirror and I see the leg development. You know what I'm saying? I hit the front lat spread, and you know what I'm saying, for anybody that's not really in bodybuilding, not really in the bodybuilding realm of things, they may not understand what that is. You can hit the Google search, but I'm seeing the results. But it's very simple. The process of it is very simple. Continue to go in the gym, lift relatively heavy weights, eat, in a relatively caloric surplus. You grow and you build muscle. When it comes to your relationship with Jesus, you know what I'm saying? You spend time with the Lord. You fix your mind on the Lord. You pray and you read the word. Jesus said, if you follow me, or if you love me, you'll keep my commandments. It's real simple. If you want to have healthy relationships, in most cases, treat others as you want to be treated, right? But why do these things, like, we all know these things when it comes to your finances? Spend less than you make, right? If you can't afford to buy it in cash, or even if you can't afford to pay it 3 times over, don't buy it. Delayed gratification. We all know these things. We know that these things, you know what I'm saying? We know them time and time again. Doesn't matter which application, like I said, your relationship with Jesus and your faith, your fitness, your finances. But again, we all come to the same conclusion that although we know it in our head, it's not getting done. And there's some of us that's actually getting it done. And if you're one of those people, hey, you're getting it done, you handling your business, shout out to you. Let's bring you on the channel. Let's have a conversation and figure out, is it possible to really do it all? And how do you do it? I love to hear from you. Comment in the chat. Yes, sir. Because that's what we're on this journey to do, to be all that we're created to be. But again, it's not that it's difficult. It's that we make it complicated. We turn simple things like 1 + 1 into trigonometry, and it doesn't have to be that way, right? Even when it comes to this YouTube situation, y'all know, and again, we all have areas of opportunity, so don't judge me. You want to judge somebody, I tell you who to judge, but we all have areas of opportunity, right? So where I may be challenged as far as making YouTube videos, even though I know I'm only making these YouTube videos not because I want to, be YouTube famous and I want to, build. I mean, do I want to do that? Do I believe that God's put things in me and given me experiences, and I have the passion to be able to pour into others and help us all on this journey of life become who we're created to be? Absolutely. But again, that's the reason I'm doing these YouTube videos. But again, is it really that complicated? Not even to be successful on YouTube, right? Everybody has a different perspective on what success is. But the point of having a YouTube channel or making YouTube videos is to consistently make them. The point of, being healthy and continuing to work out is by being consistent in the gym, being consistent in your nutrition, being consistent in your relationships, and treating others as you want to be treated. Again, those are the things that lead to the results. We're so busy chasing the output of what we want rather than being focused on the input. I heard it was a preacher, and I shout out to him, Dr. Myron Golden. If you're not tapped in with Myron, go ahead and you could definitely YouTube search him. But Dr. Myron Golden, that's Myron with a Y, not an I. He made this analogy about just thinking about God and creation, right? God created, well, he uses this analogy that like there's everything that God created more or less has the ability to replicate itself, but it comes from what's inside. So more or less, whenever you see a tree, in order to continue to replicate itself or to get additional trees, those seeds from those trees or from the fruit the tree bears have to be planted, right? So God gives us the seeds. God calls us to plant the seeds, and we can use, in this analogy, we can take these seeds being our gifts, our talents, right? So we'll use me as an example. I want to, do YouTube. I know you part of the fam, you trying to build, what I'm saying, your relationships with those around you. You trying to build your finances, stuff like that, right? So we'll take all of our seeds and we'll put them in the ground. Now, who's responsible for making the tree grow? If you got that kind of green thumb that you can plant a seed today and you can get a tree tomorrow, holla at me. I have never seen a seed planted today and seen a tree sprout up tomorrow. If you got some kind of magic beans that I don't know about, I probably don't want it anyway, because it's probably GMO, and we don't rock like that. Organic only around here. But again, we are responsible for planting the seeds. Me making this YouTube video is planting a seed in my future, being able to potentially plant a seed in someone else's life that will yield a harvest, right? Even me making this video, it's planting a seed inside myself. I am, right? I am, what am I doing? I'm building the skill, right? Being able to speak in front of the camera, one, to not look at the screen that's next to the camera, but to actually look at the lens, to know who it is that I'm talking to behind the camera, being able to speak and communicate in a way that can be hopefully easily understood, not to be dry or, just to, and if that's where you are starting, whatever it is that you're doing, you may look like that in your finances, and it's just dry, and it's just, that's just what it is. Or in your relationships, it may be kind of wonky, and it's just, this is just what it is. But at some point, as you continue to work in it, as you continue to put in the reps, you're able to start to see a little sprout, and then that sprout becomes, a budding flower, and then that budding flower continues to grow, and it's a tree that has a stem and another stem, and continue to get deeper and deeper roots until you actually have this tree that's bearing fruit, and it allows birds and other animals to sit in its branches. But again, if we continue to make it complicated, hopefully y'all don't feel like I'm kind of hype. I'm very passionate about what I'm talking about, because this is real life, right? This is real life. And maybe I'm just talking to my younger self, you know, the younger me, because folks always want to make videos about if I could give advice to my younger self, but it's not that hard. I think it's if we go to statistics, and as a matter of fact, that's why I'm so glad. I really am enjoying going live. And so what I'm going to start to do is I'm going to start really, taking time, allowing people maybe to come in and bring them on the, on the channel, and we can sit here and we can have a conversation, because I would love to look up with you while I am sitting here. I'd love to sit here and look up what the statistics are of, what the actual statistics are. And so let's pull up right here, and I'm going to make a little small box, and I'm going to save this here. And okay, so boom, we're going to have a little media, and okay. And now that we've got that, I have to also figure out how am I able to actually pull up a web page? And if I'm not able to do it right now, that's okay. But it would be really cool if I could show this Google search. I'm still here, fam. I'm still here. And matter of fact, while we doing this, I'm throwing a little, definitely turn that down a little bit. Okay. Now, I'm not really seeing how to do that, so we'll figure that out next time. But if I sit here, I know that you guys are not able to see it currently, but what percentage of Americans live paycheck to paycheck in 2024? All right, so Gemini is doing a search on Google, and all right, so according to multiple sources, and this is Google Gemini, their AI tool, giving me these statistics, but it is reportedly that between a quarter, so 1/4, or 1/3, somewhere between a quarter and a third of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. So again, that's 1 out of every 4 people, or 1 out of every 3 people. So you, your mama, your brother, and your sister, y'all all adults, y'all live in different houses. 1 out of the 4 y'all are living paycheck to paycheck. And that's crazy, right? And so we sit here and we look at that, and we could talk about a lot of reasons why folks are living paycheck to paycheck. We're not going to go into that today. I know I got my red and my blue on, but we're not talking politics right now. But again, why are folks living paycheck to paycheck? Well, generally, in most general terms, we as a society do not follow basic principles, or basic financial principles, right? Spending less than what you make. We all make a certain amount. And yeah, we all, we may have families to take care of, et cetera, but spending less than you make is what's going to help you to build whether it's savings, the ability to take advantage of other opportunities, right? But if you consistently spend above what you make, and you say, okay, well, it's just that I need to make more money. Okay, boom. So then you get a promotion on your job, and then that lifestyle inflation or that lifestyle creep, that your expenses start to, okay, well, I got a little bit more money, so I can start to do a little bit. I can eat a little bit more Chipotle, have a little bit more Chick-fil-A. I can go out with the homegirls, or I can go out with the homies and do this. And so your lifestyle starts to creep up to match with that promotion you just got. And then, your expenses, originally your income was 3,000, your expenses were 3,000. You got a $2,000 raise, and so now your income is 5,000 a month, and now your expenses are at 5,000 a month. Or your income could be at 5,000 and your expenses can be at 7,500, and now you in a hole. So again, I'm gonna close, but just by saying again, these principles, and it doesn't matter in what area of life we discuss it in, they're timeless. They're timeless. All we have to do, it's not hard. We look at these things and make them so complicated. It's not hard. There may be a challenge associated with it, but mainly the challenge that we face is in who we're becoming along the journey. It in itself is not necessarily hard, or even if it is hard, but it's about who we're becoming throughout the process. We focus so much on the output and trying to achieve this output that we're totally not responsible for. We are responsible for the inputs that we make each day, right? I am responsible for it. When it comes to my relationships, I'm responsible for how I respond to my wife when she's, may have say things that cause challenge in me. I'm responsible for how I treat the person, that cuts me off in traffic. I'm talking about, I want to have healthier relationships. Well, again, I'm responsible for the inputs. I'm not responsible with the seeds, the fruit that it bears. When it comes to my finances, I'm responsible for each dollar I'm spending. If I go and I say I want to invest in the S&P, or I want to invest in other, in other type of ventures, again, I'm not responsible necessarily for the output. My responsibility is to plant the seed. And so whatever you're looking to do, let's just be intentional about taking ownership and accountability of the inputs of the seeds that we're planting, because we're missing out on so much. God has made us for so much more. I was in church today. I know I said I was going to cut it off, but man, I just want to share it, man. I was in church today and I was thinking about how good God is, right? And I'm like, man, like, God, you are all powerful, right? You are all powerful, and you created us in your image. And that's like the beginning of Genesis. And we don't sometimes just sit there with just that truth. The Bible says, in the beginning, we got the God created heaven and earth, but he created man in his image and his likeness. He said, let us make man in our image and likeness. But you don't even have to say anything else. Selah. Because that's so incredible that God made us in his image and likeness. So to think that he did that, and we limit ourselves to such low standards. Like, bro, sis, do you know who you really are for real? Do you really know who you are? You were created by God in his image and likeness, by the creator. And so that means that you are so much more than you give yourself credit for. We're created by a creative God. Look at everything that you can see. The fact that we sitting up here talking, having this conversation with one another through this TV screen. I got the camera, and this can be displayed over the entire globe. The fact that this was put inside the thought of a man or a woman, and that we can share in this together, but that's incredible. That's the image of God, that we have the ability to do so much, and we allow limiting beliefs, lies of the enemy, limiting beliefs, doubt, anxiety, other people's opinion. Yeah, I can sit here and somebody can sit here and comment, bro. Rashad just rambling on, and you know what I'm saying. He just got, he not really saying much, but I'm not making this video for you. If that's how you feel, bro, if you're not rocking with it, you can easily hit close on your YouTube app or X the video. Now, hopefully you rocking with me. You know what I'm saying? We chilling. It's a Sunday night. We just having a conversation. You know what I'm saying? We just kicking it as family. But, if we're real, I mean, that's just what it is. You have so much worth and value that you don't give yourself credit for. Like like both of us, like, I mean, you and me, we really sell ourselves short, not really understanding like who we really are for real. Like, you sleep on you. Like, have you thought about that? You're actually asleep on who you really are. If you really woke up and understood who you really are, you'd be like, dang. If I actually really, I mean, when I had that thought this morning at church, and I really sat with that just for a moment, and really allowed some understanding to really start to resonate in me, and started to come to the conclusion of who I actually am. But how often do we have these thoughts, and we have these thoughts today, and then we go back to what we thought or believed or whatever tomorrow? We can't live like that. We can't live like that. You know what I'm saying? If truth is truth, we can't live, you know what I'm saying, understanding truth one day, coming to the knowledge of understanding of who we really are for real. And then tomorrow, we're just back, living the same, believing whatever we want to believe. Like, nah, it doesn't work like that, bro. Like, we were really created for more. And so that's all I wanted to stop by tonight and say, just to holler at you guys. I really enjoy doing lives a lot more than trying to create YouTube videos. Because if I be real, I ain't gonna lie, I'm not very, I won't say artistically inclined. I'm developing my artistic expression. But when it comes to actual like YouTube editing, that is not my strong suit. I'll be the first to say that is not my strong suit. So, being able to get to the position where I can hire full-time editor and be able to build together, so that way that can continue to give you higher quality content. Hey, we're gonna get to it, but it's about the inputs. It's about taking every step, whatever it is that you're trying to do, whatever you're setting out to do, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's on your job now, I hope whether you have a job, you're running a business, you're looking to develop any kind of aspirations or entrepreneurial ventures that you're setting out to accomplish, I hope that you're not doing the bare minimum, because how can you expect to do the bare minimum and get anywhere? Right? In life, we're not called to just live in stagnation and comfortability. Everybody can, you know what I'm saying, get in a position to where they can have a couple of extra dollars. And then I hope that you want a little bit more than a couple dollars. I'll speak for myself, because I know what my desire is, what my goal is. Because again, even if it's not for you, even if you say, hey, I'm good, you can make some money to help somebody else. Because there's a lot of homeless folks on the streets. So that's all I wanted to say is I need to make another video soon, but I want to stop on here just to check in, one, but two, to encourage, to inspire, to challenge both you and myself. Is it really that hard? I think the answer is a resounding no. It's not hard. We make it complicated. Yes, there are challenges along the journey, but in general, it's not hard. It's actually quite simple. Let's put in the inputs. We're not responsible for the outputs. Yeah, we can sit here and we can write our vision. We can write our goal. We can write our desire. But the Bible says that to commit your plans to the Lord and you will succeed. So again, God gave us the seeds to plant, to put in the ground, right? We put the seeds in the ground and we continue to sow the seeds, but we're not responsible for making the trees grow. We trust God for that. And so I hope this encouraged you, inspired you, challenged you. And I appreciate you checking in. You know what I'm saying? It's always love, fam, whenever we get together. But I am Rashad Wilson. If this is your first time tuning in, I appreciate you for stopping by. Consider subscribing. If you got any kind of value out of this, definitely comment below something that you took away, or maybe even something that you want to challenge the fam as we're on this journey of life together. I love you. Until next time, have a blessed week. Peace.